What's going on, YouTube? Back at you in the video. All right, so we're gonna switch things up today, guys. We have an SR video. So we are on 170 days. Wow, such a large number. It's not really about the days, guys. If I'm being honest, once you have the identity shift, SR just becomes a standard. See, that's something I started to realize too. Your standards reflect everything. The foods you eat, if you'll work out or not, if you'll commit to yourself, especially SR2. Those are all reflections of your standards, but they're also going to show you that, okay, yeah, you can keep commitments and, to yourself. Because for the longest, I was just not a person that could commit to things. You know, deciding to get lean, this SR streak, these are some of the first signs, okay, I can actually keep commitments to myself. And that gives you a quiet, calm aura, but confident too, because okay, you can do very difficult things that most people aren't willing to do, or it's too hard, so they won't even try. Because another thing is, SR is going to teach you, you have to be patient. Because, I'm 120 days, so take it from someone 120 days, you got to push it much further. Maybe I'll have all the answers, double these amount of days, a year plus, maybe it's different for everyone. Just maybe you have to be a certain person or whatever. But I know regardless, it's going to take longer than you think. If you did 90 days, you have to recognize that's not a long period of time. Some identity shifts require multiple years. That's another thing too. So if it didn't work for you, you just didn't do it long enough. You have to give it more time. It's like the gym too. People that have been lifting for a really, really long period of time, they might have had identity shifts 10, 15 years in the training. So if you've been working out for 2 years, you are quite literally a novice. And these are things you're gonna become more aware of, as you retain, do difficult things, eat healthier, do all these things. All these things correlate too, guys. Because when I tell you, SR, the easiest way to transmute it is into the gym. It's the easiest way. Some of my key lists now, it's still, my mind is still trying to catch up. It's like, wow, I can actually move that way. Like, that's our working way. That's not a PR. It's good form. A form is still like, oh no, maybe the form is sloppy. But, you record it, you're like, oh no, the form's actually clean as hell. So you're like, damn, See, for me, my shoulders were always like, I want to have really strong shoulders. So I'm up to 50 pounds, lateral raises. Well, my working sets really like 40 or 45, but, if I'm doing like a drop set or I want to, push myself, I'll do 50s. But I can do 50s without looking like a trap shug, which I'm like, okay, that's awesome. But I can definitely attest that to SR, but also, because remember, SR is going to be an amplifier. That's another thing too. SR, it's kind of, let me think, what anime equivalent? It's kind of like, think of hockey, right? From One Piece. That's basically what SR is. Yeah, let's go with that. Because I see what some people say when it's like, oh, the SR, it's not that it gives you these magical benefits. It's more so amplifying like your current vibration, your current standards. So it makes you think SR is doing those things, which, I mean, innately it is, but it's also not, if that makes sense. My head is still trying to get wrapped around that part, but I would say anyone that's like going through something or struggling, I would say, the same way, I would advise, you're going through anything, just get lean. If you're going through, just start retaining, because you're gonna start retaining, your standards are gonna go up. That's gonna reflect in you eating better. But then you eating better is gonna reflect in you conquering lust too. So SR is gonna become easier because the two are linked, and then that'll bleed in the other aspects of your life too eventually. Because for me, it really feels almost as if the first 150, 40 days of SR, that was preparation, and now this is the new. I didn't really have a set goal going into SR. I just want to try it, But my standards quickly got to the point where I'm like, yeah, like unless it's for its intended purpose of procreation, really should not be, releasing your seed. And that's another thing too. See, when your standards get so high, it becomes impossible to relapse because you're not just gonna smash any chick, it's gotta be something that's worth your time, that has standards, that aligns with you too. That's why it's so important you learn how to be alone. And that's something, I'm not gonna say occasionally I still struggle with, but stay in your routine, stay locked in. It's gonna be okay. It's it's like a hunger pain. When you're cutting, it comes and goes. That feeling of it'll be fine because no, it's just your old self. It wants comfort. Because there's peace in the solitude, in the silence. But the ego, the old self always wants, needs something, instant gratification, and needs validation. So when you starve yourself all those things, your true nature can shine. Which is why SR daily is so powerful too, because many people, you can't sit alone by yourself. You're gonna run to someone, which is why you keep relapsing, because you can't sit in boredom and do difficult things long enough. That's why SR, it's not optional. This is something you have to, if you want to be locked in, if you're on the self-improvement journey, you want to take it seriously, you can't, SR, this is the last, like one of the last pillars. You can't skip it. It's because you have to tame lust. Because I know when you tame lust, on the other side of that, that's where your purpose is. Because your purpose on the other side, you recognize now, okay, yeah, it's on the other side of doing difficult things. Conquering your lust, that's one of the hardest things. Because I'll give you guys another reason. You can't do it for the ego. I'd argue the gym too. I know a lot of people, they start working out because of chicks, but I'm telling you, you're not gonna wake up at 5 a.m. only eat the same foods over and over again just because you want chicks. Like, it has to be a greater reason than that. See, for me now, it's just a pursuit of self-mastery. Oh, how far can we push this? What happens if I don't quit? Keep moving forward. I can unlock a new form, like Ultra Instinct or something. That's what motivates me now. It's not because the woman will come. Literally, anyone else up there, I tell you, don't worry about the woman. Build, and you'll have so much woman to deal with. You can pick, choose, and refuse. And it makes perfect sense too. The whole love attraction, detachment. If you're chasing, that means you're not getting the things you want, because someone that gets that woman, they're not gonna chase. Someone that has not gonna be desperate, So when you can rest in that awareness, that makes it powerful too. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. You do all the right things, seek the kingdom, seek your purpose, seek discomfort, and that problem will go away, literally. Because what people don't get about SR, this, fat loss, working out, people still attach it to the physical reality, but the spiritual battle that goes on, especially with lust, I'll tell you, if you have confidence issues, retain long enough, they'll go away, because a lot of people, their self-worth is tied in their body count. But if anyone knows about the Buddha, even myself, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not the answer, because you're so attached to that identity where my worth is tied to how many people and that's another thing too. They're probably not even quality people or partners. So is it really a trophy the way we think it is? No, it's not. Because you have to recognize people that have higher standards. Think about it with food, right? With food and SR. If you have higher standards, you're not gooning, you're not going out with any chick. You have innately higher standards. So why would we idolize someone that can smash any chick? That's not what having high standards is about. These are the things you're gonna become more aware of. Because if you think you're behind because you have a supplement of chicks, you have to get to a point where that's not really what it's about. That's not the most important thing. You mastering yourself is a lot more important than that. I can tell you. Because ultimately, most people, they're just doing it to appease the ego. And they need validation. They need someone to validate them, because their peace or self-worth, it's outside of them. You're not separate from those things too. The Buddha also talks about. And as I continue along this journey, it gets easier. There are days where but then you quickly come back to baseline. Because I think having that emotional stability is important, especially when you're going through things aren't going well. You have that emotional stability. That's why keeping commitments to your health, the habits, all that stuff is very important. But SR has greatly helped me develop the awareness, because it taught me that, delayed gratification has to become identity. And that's because the things you want are innately going to take longer. And that's okay. Like, it's a good thing it takes long time. That means, it's worth it. That's why you should do it. It's difficult. It's gonna take a while. That's why it's worth doing. You should continue to do it. And I always talk about the benefits of SR too. Even though after a certain point, the benefits become the benefits come as like a consequence to your higher standards. Well, which SR did help with that innately, so you could say it's tied to SR. But there's just no, I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't do this. Honestly, I just can't think of a reason. You can go into the science, but the confidence, the spiritual benefits, even the physical benefits too of prolactin and other hormones. Just a lot of people. I'm telling you, and this is something I can attest to also. See, when you're retaining, for you, and that's what people don't get, right? For you to get to, let's say 150 days or any long period of time, you have to start transmuting. You're not going to get that high of a streak unless you're transmuting, unless you're very busy. See, the reason you guys keep relapsing is because you guys just aren't doing enough. Like, you're just sitting, like, there should be no reason you're at home just sitting there for hours. Now I'm so busy, it's like, man, even on the days you're off, no, there's always something to do. But I've always kind of been like that. There's always something to do. I mean, very rare. Now it's impossible, but there's never going to be a day where I'm just home the whole day. There's always something to go because you got to work out, boom, do this, get food, meal prep. There's always something to do. And if you have that much free time, then your standards are just too low. Because I'm telling you, it becomes impossible. Like, it'd be impossible for me to relax, literally. It is literally impossible. Because that's how locked in you get, where it's like, you don't have time. It's a lot of steps to gooning too. See, when your standards get so high, there's so much steps to goon. You gotta think about gooning. Then you gotta pull out your phone. You gotta type in Chrome or Safari. Then you gotta go incognito mode. Then you have to search. Then you gotta click the link. Then you gotta search for view. Then you gotta scroll. It's so many steps. At that point, I'm already asleep. I'm already winding down because I gotta wake up, early tomorrow to work out or whatever. So it's like, it's just not worth it to do it, honestly. But let me tell you one of the biggest things, and I don't know if anyone knows who the Pathfinder podcast by Bogdan, but there was a community post, and the guy talked about how he retained for 9 months and then binge relapsed after. That's why I'm always stressing, you have to take this shit seriously. One relapse, it could destroy you. What people don't get is losing to lust even once. That's all lust. That's all she needs is one victory to destroy you. So when you recognize that, you're not going to take this lightly. You're always going to have these very, very high streaks. I promise if I relapse, I'm jumping right back on the train. But this is virtually impossible. I just can't. You guys not bleach me. I just can't imagine Chad losing. I just can't imagine relapsing. That's the thing too. Like if I'm having a bad day or I'm going through something, my thought isn't to go. It's okay. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna journal, or I'm gonna just sit in my thoughts because they'll pass. They'll come and pass. But definitely not good to do. But because it'll destroy you. And man, I wish I could tell you guys more. Maybe someday. But man, I've literally seen it not destroy someone, but it's almost, you can't recover. Lust will have you do things that you just can't recover from. This shit is, I'm telling you, you can't make this shit up, but I'm like, damn, like, lust is powerful. That's why you have to do retention, because it's going to give you that, anyone see Dragon Ball, how Broly has that little key bear around him? SR is going to do that too, for you too, with lust and gluttony, because what people don't get is, the porn industry makes billions of dollars. That means every day millions of people are getting destroyed by lust on a day-to-day basis. It's even worse with gluttony. Look at how many people are diabetic. It's so common, but a lot of people they just aren't aware. I'm telling you, that chick you think that's thick, she's objectively overweight. Her BMI might be 30. She's probably 5'4" and she weighs more than me. But you guys don't even understand how quick that is because you guys don't track. But I'm saying anyone that tracks understands. Damn, she's probably eating more calories than me. She might be eating 5,000 calories. That's a lot of food. Right now I'm eating 2,400 calories. That's a pound of beef, 8 eggs, some milk and fruit. That's a lot of food. Someone is doing double that, and the female too, probably double the amount of calories consistently on a day-to-day basis. You can't make this shit up. You can't. You cannot make this shit up. So when you understand just like how everyone is so cooked, you're like, okay, I see. It actually motivates you to continue going because you're like, I refuse to be like that. I don't ever want to be the point where I get destroyed. Oh my god, I can't even talk about it. But Jesus, I never get to the point where lust destroys me like that. You cannot have it because all she needs is one victory. That might be enough. King Solomon from the Bible. I don't actually know the story, but I guess eventually I'll get to that point because but it's really it's a tale as old as time. I've seen it firsthand too. I have some friends. I'm like, yeah, like that energy they put into anything else. Because for me it's when I think about it, okay, yeah, it's not too shocking. I'm so strong in the gym now because I've taken that energy rather than into women that aren't worth the time, low vibrational. We throw it into the gym, throw it back into the mind. So it makes sense. I'm this strong. That's another thing too. Like man, SR will make you. You're gonna be like fucking like it's like you have a sensu being like in you all the time because you're gonna recover so fast. It's crazy. Because SR is gonna raise your standards, so you're naturally gonna take your health more serious. But I'm telling you, I consistently get good sleep. But I remember one day I got like 5 hours of sleep, hitting PRs. No, I think I hit a PR on every exercise that day. Some crazy shit. But definitely wouldn't have done that, pre, this day. Definitely, I can definitely attest to that. Yeah, guys, you have to. If you take nothing else from this video, retain because it's difficult. It's difficult, so it's worth doing. Because when you do difficult things, that's how you find yourself. Because you can't pay for this. You can't pay for SR Street. It's every day lust tries to get you. Every day she tries to get you. But she's gonna keep failing over and over and over again. That builds confidence. That builds merit. Because when you have that, when people clown you or say certain things, you're like, these people they don't do it. They don't inspire. They don't motivate me. They don't do difficult things. I don't want to be like them. So what they say is not gonna affect me. And that gives you a calm, quiet aura too. It's to make it so like comments and stuff. That's the thing. People are like, oh, I remember this old coworker. Oh my god, it's crazy now because if he said those comments, I would now. If anyone's seen Seven Deadly Sins, Escanor, one of my favorite scenes. But why should I bear hatred towards someone that's obviously weaker than myself, or something along those lines? But you guys know the scene I'm referring to. But it's really true. Like all you can feel is pity. If someone's self-worth is so tied up in how much money they sleep with, all I can feel is pity, because they'll never know the feeling knowing that you've mastered yourself. This is something they'll never experience. All you can do is pity that person. You can't bear hatred towards someone like that, And I'm telling you, that's why that's another thing too. You will have these thoughts more as you retain. Like talking to a good friend, I can just see like when someone retains seriously, you're gonna have those two ways. You're gonna have these thoughts. It's gonna make you be able to think, and talk this more often because you start to recognize all this stuff is very real. Yeah, guys, that's 170 days on SR. We're almost at our goal of 180. Even though at this point now it's a lifestyle. Do it till you die. That's how it should be. But yeah, well, I use the same app that Bogdan uses. It's called Magnet if anyone's curious. It honestly helps, but now I'm like, I just view it as a number. But which is a good and bad thing because 170 days, I should be like, oh, that's awesome. But I'm like, not really. It's, we're supposed to be in this state all the time. If you're not, procreating, you should be retaining. That's kind of the ultimate identity shift you need. Because that's the thing too. For all the struggle, when I really peel back the layers, oh yeah, that's simple. Like, okay, I'm just eating healthy foods. I'm not gooning because that's unnatural. Things that just when your standards get so high, you're like, wow, like, people really do that. That's crazy. But not me. But yeah, guys, stay locked in, stay blessed. That's 170 days. Hopefully this uploads tonight, not tomorrow. But yeah, upload tomorrow, day after that. Stay locked in, stay blessed. Let's get it.